Tavern review. I'm Greene. I'm joined here today with YDMC. We're here in San Jose trying some mead from Reno, Nevada. The place is called the Black Rabbit Mead Company. I've never been, but he has gone and enjoyed the place.
This is a great spot. Definitely in the heart of Reno, about 4 minutes from the Strip. It's in what I would deem an art district. Lots of paintings, open venues. But I went for the meet, met up with my man Steezy. And it's a real dim lit, small spot. Wooden tables, wooden chairs, you know. Feels real authentic. Great staff. Great meat.
From this flavor that they have on here, did the three-headed dragon try the three-headed rabbit?
No, I did not try. I was there alone actually, but I did not try the three-headed rabbit. I tried. I don't know their exact names, but I tried like the strawberry hibiscus, the grapefruit mead, their classic mead, which we're gonna try here, the Church of Roger. It's a cider style. They do have other meads that they turn into cocktails, or like hard meads. You know, just like you have a hard cider mix with some alcohol. There's a hard mead mix, and I think my favorite was the grapefruit.
I think like we chatted yesterday, and like you said that you tried a little bit of that. Like they had one that had like cucumber and something.
Yeah. Okay. So they had this really refreshing one that was, I don't know, it was just different than all the others. It did have cucumber in it, you know, hint of lime, and I forgot what else was in it. But I mean, that was something you drink on a hot day. It was amazing. It changed your temperature, and you know, put a little chill on your body. You know, a little mini goosebumps. It was just absolutely refreshing. Yeah, that stuff was good.
That's a good kind of. That's good kind of stuff. Well, here's the mead that we have today from Black Rabbit Mead Company. We got the Church of Roger. It is from, just like Whitey said, it's their classic.
Yep.
It says tasting notes. It's pure mead, just honey, water, and yeast.
Can't go wrong there.
Semi-dry cider. And just like they say on the internet site, they all their meads are like 6.9.
Right.
Like average. Ain't exactly bad.
No.
You can't.
Now, what would the average be for a mead? Does that go by style?
Probably style and just however you like take care of it. I mean,
What would you call your mead?
I wish I knew. I'm about to find out this year.
You have any left? No, I think I'm completely out. I think I give the last shot of mead to Red Baron.
Shit.
Yep, he hadn't tried it. He didn't know about it. I had to let him know.
Yeah, no. My first making of mead, I messed up on the whole when I needed a certain tool. And
what tool you speak?
I don't remember.
Like a filtering tool?
No, it's like a measuring tool. It measures the density of it, and from there it has like a number readout. I believe it's called a hydrometer. From there, you have this number, and then you use math that I use an online calculator to basically use that and cheat, and basically it tells you how much the alcohol percentage.
Oh, nice.
There are some meads out there that will have like 15%, but it's like, I think the highest, and this just might be just an opinion because I haven't seen it myself, but the highest I would probably say there is maybe 20 if someone's aiming for it and they know what to go and know how to do it.
Now, what would the consistency of a 20% mead be? Would that just be
That would probably be
thick and slimy?
It really depends. It's really weird. Like try to like balance one and have like the bottle. It's magic. Okay. I try to do something that's it's alright. But
Well, would that be like that a mead with that much alcohol content? Would it be like a beer with that much content?
It would probably be like really strong. It'd probably be a really strong wine.
Or would it be thick? Not necessarily.
Depends on how they do it. I know there's some people who there's an additive people put in most like wines, and they'll even put it in beer, and it'll clear out the haze. But I don't mind the haze.
Right.
It just basically shows that natural output in there. But some people
I did find that in yours. I did recognize that, it wasn't for lack of a better word, it was cloudy. A little bit cloudy.
Yeah, the first couple of pours will be clear, and then after, the more you keep like pouring it, the more you shake up everything that's collected at the bottom, and the haze will come up.
But I didn't mind the haze. It was really authentic. So what do they drink ale out of? Like, you have these glasses. You got not ale, but like mead. Do you drink mead out of glasses you would drink ale out of? Is mead just another liquor?
I mean, from pop culture and all that shit, from pop culture and all that fun shit, we know that the whole like Norse culture, like you got people who were drinking out of horns.
Right.
You have like the wooden steins, the fucking.
That's what I was talking about yesterday. I was like, I don't have a good stein. My dad grew up in Germany, so he has a bunch of steins, but I don't have any steins. Like, I need one.
But I mean, like, yeah, people had like goblets, like, like. I would say like the more higher class you were, the more you would have glass, because people would blow glass. Like, I don't know how far back that is. I'm not educated in that.
Right.
I'm not even far educated in a whole lot of this. I just drink and know things.
It's like, we're tracking mead. We're learning along the way.
But I mean, more than likely, people were drinking out of ceramic goblets, like back in Babylon. Like they would fucking make shit in ceramic goblets, let it ferment, and then they would like drink out of straws, right, and, like in between like the shit in the top and the shit in the bottom, and they would drink in the middle of it, where the drink was fucking at.
So basically, they were avoiding like the byproduct contents, like because they did it filtered.
They were pretty much cheating. They were cheating in a sense, but at the same time, it would be smart.
They just didn't want to wait. So you want to wait for this to ferment? Fuck no! Grab a straw.
Fuck no.
Damn. It'd just be like multiple people with straws and like a big pot of mead.
I mean, pretty much you would have like probably like a large vessel that they would put it in, and since more like modern times we would package it up in like bottles of different kinds, and then people would drink from the bottles if they really didn't want to drink from a cup or anything. Back then they would probably have like giant, like they would probably have like vats, and basically people would have like a cup just kind of like scoop it in. And depending on your stature, maybe you're being served the mead, or if you're like in a local mead house, you're probably with like 10 to 20 other fucking people, like from like guys, girls, even like children, depending on like the culture they were in, and everyone basically shared from the pot and just basically.
Kids got turned on me.
Granted, the really cool part about mead for what it is that alcohol in itself is very clarifying. It's not gonna like mold over or anything. Honey in itself is also an antifungal. Like it does not fucking mold over. It takes a lot. It takes a lot for it to go bad. Like even when it crystallizes in a jar, it's still good. It's just
you just can't drink it, but there's nothing wrong with it. So like, you've seen like, I got some in the cabinet, but you've seen like a jar of honey for a long period of time, right? You see how it separates. Like, you've seen like how the honey separates? I got a jar up there, and the honey separates, like, eventually. Does mead sitting for a long period of time, does it also separate?
Probably not. I mean, if there's any yeast or anything else like in it, you'll see like everything kind of go on the bottom, like especially with my stuff, you'll notice how on the bottom it'll be more darker than like the rest of it because everything went down and then just made a sediment at the bottom that will like loosen the more you like move it about, and then it's all like, oh yeah, I was a part of this before.
Oh, so you basically shake it.
Wouldn't recommend it, but yes.
The wine catacombs, you know.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh, 1400 wine, you know. Which I've never tasted a wine that was over 20 years old. I don't know what a 1972 Merlot would taste or even do to you. Yeah.
Probably good if you cook with it.
Probably good if you cook with it. That's right.
So one thing I haven't tried yet is like I started cooking with Chianti a lot more, but fucking I've been like, you know, what happens if I actually do like a wine reduction with mead?
I've never thought about that. I've cooked with like sherry before, you know. Put some sherry on some. I think it was like some Mediterranean like vegetable dish that was like frying, not frying, but it was kind of like a stir fry, like kind of like pan searing, and you know, you can pour a little sherry in it for flavor. I've cooked fish with wine. You know, like white wine on some salmon or white fish. You know, white wine cooks well with it. Pinot Grigio or something like that. White wine. I haven't cooked with the Chardonnay though. I think that's like a little too much flavor for it. But mead, cooking with mead, like, I'm trying to think what you would cook with that.
I think with something like
dessert. Like, you know how to do like rum cake? Do you make a mead cake?
I mean, depending on the flavoring of it, since it's like a deep flavoring, you could use it with like, you could probably use it with like chicken. If you know what you're doing.
Chicken. Now you had a little a Yule, right? And you had some meat available. What did you pair that with?
I didn't even think about like what it'd be like paired with, but I made boar. I think last year I just did boar and like chicken. I don't remember. I know boar was like the big thing. I actually bought like a big ass boar leg and like cooked that for like 6 hours. It was fun.
Sweet. How'd you cook that?
Very slow.
Like indoor, outdoor, smoker? Indoor?
Baked it.
It's in the oven? Sweet.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out.
What about lamb? Like lamb racks? Lamb shanks? Would that be good with me?
Yeah?
Yeah,
I've got that. Sweet. I know last year was the first year I had like my mead. And going from my mead to sweeter mead is not the smartest thing on the planet that I realized, because my mead is it's more drier, has more of like a beery flavor to it when you're used to that. And you go to something that's extremely sweet, like some people aim for their meats to be excessively sweet. Like the taste of honey is still in the air.
I mean, it's not a dessert wine, even though it's honey and sweet. You know, it's not. I mean, if I think of it as a wine, but I think of it as honey. Like, I think I was originally, when you told me they had mead, I didn't know what to expect. I'm like, oh, this is going to be hella sweet. Because you said honey. I'm like, oh, honey beer water. Okay, it's going to be naturally sweet. And I was surprised that it wasn't.
I was aiming for sweet, because generally what they want you to do is like 1 pound of honey per like gallon of water that you do. So you basically want to have 1 part honey and like 2 parts water. And for me, I do 3 pounds of honey for 1 gallon of water.
So you wanted it sweeter. Did it come out how you wanted?
Didn't come out like shit, so it came out better than I thought. This year I'm doing an entirely different process where I'm letting it like sit and ferment for 3 months. I'm gonna change out after changing the bottles 3 months later, and just having it sit and basically and then adding some more honey and like some juice to it. From there, have that regain some sweetness for it to ferment with that, and see how this year's batch comes out than last year's, because it's all about the learning process from start to finish. And if this year's mead comes out better than last year's, then I did a better process. That I officially did a better process. In fact, speaking of which, to have a better example, let's finally try this out.
Oh yeah. All right. Cheers, Roger. Cheers. In Game of Thrones glass. We bought this, don't sue us.
That's why I'm like turning the Game of Thrones thing to like the side. I mean, shout out to Gang for having like the best like.
These are good glasses.
It's really refreshing. Like
so this is a semi-dry cider style.
Like it's just like like the dryness reminds me a lot of my stuff. Like if it wasn't for the whole like making mead, I wouldn't recognize dry. Like if someone said this is a dry wine, I would never have known what that was until actually.
What does that mean?
Actually like trying it and like making it, and then it's all like, oh, this is dry. Okay.
I've tried
but it definitely has like a really smooth flavor to it. Just like the website, how they like talked about it. It's they call it a cider mead, but it has more of like a beery taste to it, and overall like
beery, not berry. Beery.
Like it has like a nice, and it has like a refreshing like flavoring to it. Like I'm really surprised, especially for like its traditional flavor, how like refreshing it is. Like some traditional flavors aren't so refreshing, but this one, like the flavor is really light. Like it's really light. The flavoring is like there. Like the flavoring is like on like. It's deep, but it's light. Like you know it's there, and it's very vibrant, but it's gone as
it pulls back. No, it totally pulls back. If you're someone that doesn't like, for the lack of a better phrase, the taste of alcohol, because there are people that like wine but don't want to taste the wine, like cocktails but don't want to taste the liquor. This is a good mead if you don't want to like live with the taste of mead in your mouth. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Now, this mead when I purchased it was chilled. It was chilled in a cooler. Are there cold meads and warm meads? Is that a preference thing only?
I think it's a preference. Like, kind of like for sake. Some people like hot sake. I can't do hot sake.
I can't do cold sake.
I hate the living shit out of it.
Really? You like cold sake?
I don't do.
You just don't like sake at all.
I love sake. I drink it warm. I won't drink it hot. I'll drink it room temperature. I drink just about everything room temperature unless I want it cold. Which will only be beer or
some
anything
beer.
That can,
Some beers they can be warm anyway.
Kind of like Rolling Rock. You can drink that no matter what and still has the same flavor.
Yeah, shit.
It's just water. This is absolute shit.
So it's a preference, cause like, so with your mead,
That flavor is very present.
ever present.
It's like,
Now,
I wish I was talking out of my ass, but no, it was very present. Like, it's there. It's not something that just comes and goes away. Like, I wish my stuff could do this. It'd make it a little bit easier, especially if you transition from something of this flavoring to something sweeter. This one, the flavor is so fucking prevalent. Like, for my stuff, it's so fucking prevalent that when you go to something sweeter, you're just about shocking your taste buds. And it's not exactly bad. It's just.
Well, it was the opposite for me. It was like I was used to that, and so when I tried the lighter mead, like that's my first introduction. Like, never tasted mead my whole life. So like trying this one, it really, like, it does the same thing, but on the opposite end, I'm just like, whoa, like, what is that? But it doesn't have the weight that your meat had. That had a good weight to it. Now I tried it chilled, and I tried it warm. Like, I chilled it for like a few weeks, and then I left it out for a few weeks, just to try the difference. When it's at room temperature, get a lot more of that that fermented flavor and smell. You know, it smells like it's been fermented. When it's chilled, I feel like it's not as heavy as it is room temperature. And I'm not sure if that has to do just with the water in the mead being, at a lower temperature or not. But it also.
If anyone knows why.
Yeah, please hop on and educate
feel
us
free
a
in
little
fucking
bit.
We're not experts on the situation.
We're learning.
We're learning as it goes. We're getting used to it.
And we like it. It's good stuff.
Even as in my second year of making mead, I'm still learning as I'm going. If you have anything to comment, anything you want explain to further our betterment of understanding, go ahead, tell us. Grab the share bearer, let us know.
For real.
I'm not gonna sit here and bullshit y'all that I know everything that I'm coming out is factual or not. It's just everything that I've studied so far. This is what I know. It's it's almost on a scientific point of view. Sooner or later, my opinion will change. Something will go wrong in my opinion.
I've been making mead for 17 and a half months. But when that one was warm though, it had a bite though.
Yeah.
It had a bite. No bite.
Yeah,
No bite at all.
It's
it's heavy water. You still had the taste of mead. Very refreshing. Today was we spend most of our days on the east side, which is always 5 degrees warmer than it is on this side. We're in the south side now. Always 5 degrees warmer in those stupid hills. Alright?
That's like I'm not even gonna comment. I'm just sitting here just like shaking my head.
I know. No. So you know, he's out there, I'm out there throughout the day. So after a day like today, which it was like 80 degrees here and like 85 degrees there, this is great to end the day. For me, it's ending the work week, going into 3-day weekend. The only labor I want to do is lifting up some mead. Yeah, this is my labor for the week.
Granted, for what mead was in like the roles of society, the higher stature you were, the more likely you were drinking mead, because that was a fucking thing. So
that was one of my questions. Like, yeah, what was the class system with the mead?
Like it just goes back to like it depends on the culture and just overall roles, like especially for like medieval and Nordic roles. Depending on like your societal view and how you had it. Mead was more for like the upper roles, for like the jarls and the fucking kings, this, that, and the other. For medieval, it was for like more like England and all them. It was for like the knights, the kings, like anybody in the upper class, because the lower class could have like shite beer, like fucking Bud Light seltzer and all that shit.
The friars had the ale; they were poor, right?
It depends. It also depends. I mean, if you go back to like England and all that, the church made its own money and actually had its own like coffer system. So in a sense, like the church was never really poor, so to say, but they didn't really spend the money on themselves. They tried help, like before fucking a whole bunch of other political shit that I won't get on for this channel. They did try to help people in the beginning. Like certain sects would help people and basically go like, look, we know that taxes are tough. Let's try to help out because this is what's good and expected of you.
Well, I'm thinking of Robin Hood now.
Friar
Tuck. Yeah, there you go. Friar Tuck was a freaking drunk, but he was down to help the people.
But like Black Rabbit Meadery, like it's really cool about their story. I'll probably have it all kinds of like fucked up. I'm pretty sure if I remember it after reading it like 3 to 4 times a day, that it was like Jake and Will started it, and like they were high school teachers, and they had a friend who was also a teacher. His name was Al, who was the owner of Al's Bees, and he gave them honey, gave them a mead kit, and was like, make some mead, but give me half of it. And from then on, they were perfecting their craft up until when they were like, let's make a business from it, and became Reno's first meadery.
I forgot to check. I still want to check if we can find an origin. Give me a second.
If the people from Black Rabbit Meadery watches this episode,
send it to me.
Your website needs to state what year it is. I can't find what year you guys started, and it's just on a whole history thing. I wanted to really like get down and basically be like, yo, but I can't, because no matter what I looked, it was all the same thing, that it was started by these two while they were teaching in high school, who had their friend who was also a high school teacher, this, that, and the other, just like I stated. And it's really cool. It's a really nice origin story. I mean, it got them, like they pretty much had a homie who had the honey to play with, and was just basically, here you go, do this. And they got into the hobby. They loved doing it, and more than likely fell in love with the process. And I mean, Skol to y'all, like, seriously.
No,
Y'all really did a great
and your
great
staff
job.
is great. I just want to say your staff is very knowledgeable. They were telling us about they also got kombucha meads.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah, they had kombucha meads, which they were explaining to us that, you know, the booch has got to be, like, can't even be, like, in the building with the mead or fuck it all up.
Yeah, they'll have to, like, they would have had to add that at the end of the process, like, at the very end of the process.
I don't even think they do it in the same building for that reason. Okay. Our first official tasting event was a success. April 1st, 2017. So, I'm going to assume 2017 was the origin of Black Rabbit Mead. What's the first Instagram post?
It could be, like, alright, so we're going to go with 2017. It's the closest thing.
At least when
It could be sooner, but we don't know.
We have no idea. But we have something to go off of. It's been at least since 2000. Well, it would have to be made, so it has to be at least.
It's been about 4 years.
Well, it would have to be 20. Well, that's only 4 months into the year, so it would have to start at 2016, right?
Yeah.
You can't make a good batch in 4 months.
I'm gonna make an assumption that they probably started, like, since that was when they, like, they're tasting as Black Rabbit.
As Black Rabbit.
And they didn't make their business till after they perfected their craft. I'm gonna have to guess maybe 2013. They started then, and then took, like, years perfecting their craft.
Yeah, you know, they're not going to do it right off top and just be like, boom, we got this. Yeah.
I'd be very impressed if it was like it was literally like that, if they did, like,
so
we started in 2014, became Black Rabbit in 2016, had our first event in 2017, and have been booming in business since. I'd be impressed.
Whatever they tasted with in 17 would have to be made in 16. So, which probably weren't their first batch. So, 14 is not outside the realm of possibility if these guys, Jake and Will, took Al's honey and just made it out of nowhere. Like, that's what makes it, that's the difference. That's the difference, man, is that part. That part makes it very, very, very tough to kind of put it down. But if 16 was 16, I'm going to go with, you say 13? I'm going to go with 14. I bet you're right, though. Someone who's actually done this.
I'm only guesstimate. But like I said, Black Rabbit Meadery, if you watch this episode, just comment, like, correct us, let us know, because I would love to know this. Like, I would love to know this information, because I go to Reno every so often, and now I have another reason to go to fucking Reno for more than just the music scene, and go out there.
Go a lot more. But I do like this a lot.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely really nice.
We gotta take a trip because I want to try I want you to try the grapefruit. I didn't try any in the booch. I want to try the booch.
That sounds really nice to try.
Yeah, some Mead booch.
I've had ale booch, and it came out a lot sweeter than I was like. Like, it was made by Rogue, the same people.
Rogue
who did
made one, yeah.
Yeah, the same people who did Dead Guy. They had this fucking booch ale. It was great.
Now, what is the process? Well, I mean, like, just.
Depending.
I mean, we know how to make beer. You know what I mean? And
That's my next project is making ale, and
Right.
apparently that takes less time.
It takes way less time.
It takes less time to make ale, and to make ale and beer than it does mead.
It takes way less time.
Depending on what recipe and how old the recipe for mead is, you could have mead ready in like a week. But it's probably gonna taste really sweet, and it'll probably be less alcohol than this.
It needs to sit for its content.
Yeah.
To raise.
Because you want the yeast. Because pretty much what the yeast does is that it just eats away the sugar. Like it eats away the sugar and all that shit, and basically the sugar becomes
alcohol. Yeah.
So
you guys are getting
science.
You're getting history lessons. You're getting science lessons.
Fucking the kid. Fucking back in the childhood, you would get fucking. You get fucking sugar rushes from eating too much candy. When you're older, you get sugar rushes from being drunk.
Yeah.
And people wouldn't care to think that it's the same thing.
It is the same thing. I swear that.
Except, I think this would be a downer version as opposed to Sugar Rush's upper, which makes you get hella hyper.
Depends on how much you drink.
While being drunk, you just like depending on what you drank, you go from, oh, I could talk to this girl over here. Oh, I know how to dance. Oh, I can build this. I can fix my car with like 3 fucking exhaust ports. Oh, I can fight that guy who's clearly taller than me.
There are
Nothing says you have bravery like Jose Cuervo on a Sunday night.
Oof. I don't. Oh. We used to drink sidewalk slammers, bro. Fucking.
I got introduced to that by my late brother Mosh. He introduced that one.
Rest in peace, Mosh, man.
Fucking.
What? Four Loco 211 mix. Woo.
With my.
I like Mad Dogs. I was a Mad Dog person. I
have a picture on my Instagram of me, fucking drinking Mad Dog with a fucking straw, because we put it in the freezer to chill, and it over chilled and became a Slurpee, and I'm like, I'm still gonna drink it.
That sounds.
And I'm sitting there, I'm like, fucking drinking that shit like.
That sounds surprisingly amazing, actually.
Before I changed up my drinking habits to where I'm just drinking wine and ale.
Well, we're adults now.
Unfortunately. Fucking I was told about the mythological and legendary flavor of the peach Mad Dog, and I was told about it, and I was told that it existed and that it was fire.
It did exist.
Could not find it for the life of me. After I finished being a fucking lazy ass drunk and switching to fucking wine and ale, I go to Ernie's Liquors right down the fucking street on the east side.
Yeah.
And sure as shit, they had peach Mad Dog, and I'm like, I'm leaving. It's like, I'm done.
It's too late for that boat, man. I was a bling bling king. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, anything that's like a liquid that's blue, I'm gonna drink it as long as it's not Windex, you know. But if it's a blue liquid,
I did that when I was a kid. I don't recommend it.
No. But we used to get drunk drinking the Banaka in middle school. We drink the Banaka, man, and yeah, it got some or the fresh ices. Ooh, the little fresh ices just pop the cat go. It's mostly alcohol.
Fucking back in fucking high school, I remember fucking getting those fucking Bacardi mixes, you know, the zombie Long Island, fucking they're like $10 a fucking thing, like that fucking big.
Dude,
Smash.
Yeah.
That was my introduction to hurricanes.
Woo. Yeah, I was on a Slurricane before Slurricane was Slurricane, okay? Alright. There was only a song. Of course you had the Incredible Hulks. You know, those are always great.
That was fucking
But not
that was Hennessy and what?
in the hypnotic.
Hennessy and Hypnotic.
Yeah. Everyone liked that shit too. Everyone's fighting at the end of it.
I still remember my first time in Lovelock, Nevada was also my first time trying Hypnotic. And I was at a local bar. And fucking I was like, hey, let me get a shot of Hypnotic because they fucking had it. And they're all like, they poured me a shot. And I take this shot and I fucking kind of have this weird ass feeling. I look down and like everyone's kind of glaring at me like, did you just really order a shot of fucking Hypnotic? And I'm like, I go.
You know, I'm not gonna lie. I would have stared at you too, like.
I looked over at the bartender. I'm all like, let me get some fucking wild turkey. You know, they fucking gave me a shot of wild turkey. Took the shot and I looked down, like, stop looking at me, and everyone went about their business. Like, thank you. I'm just being an alcoholic. Let me try some alcohol.
Who's this parents boy that was a shot of Hypnotic, huh? By the way, Black Rabbit Mead. This is like a very refreshing mead.
Fucking Church of Roger.
Church of Roger.
Semi-dry cider, and they're not kidding. It really is semi-dry. You really get that flavor, that feel of it. Like you get that tongue feel.
And it's a decent, you know. It's a decent.
I'm still gonna be on it. Like whoever they got their artwork for, they fucking did a great job. Like
yeah, check
if y'all
that
can
out.
like really see that shit, like they did a great job on their artwork.
It's been good, man. It's been good, and they work hard. They definitely work hard on this.
And from what I'm hearing from you and what I've read on their website, the place has a really great atmosphere. Like indoor dining and all that shit.
Bro, it was so smooth. As soon as I walked in, this is only because Steezy's told us. Like he lives in Reno. You know, he was a San Jose guy for a while. Moved out to Reno like long ago. Still checks out Big Chillin' every week, even from Reno. But he texted me. He's like, "Hey, you're in Reno, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "I know you guys like Mead. I got a Meadery down the street." I'm like, "Shut up, bro." A Meadery, like that's a thing. Like I didn't know. I'm a California boy. I don't know about.
I forget where. I want to say it was like Texas or something. There was something that Facebook promoted of like this company that this family who made their own like they didn't do a tavern. They tried doing like a meat hall. Like they had like everything was like wooden layouts, like tables, chairs, and all that shit. Fucking they served mead, fucking food out the asshole. It's like, you know, that's pretty cool. I gotta check that out one day. But I have to remember what it is to be able to check it out and actually go to it and not regret it afterwards. Because I'm not saying I don't like Texas, but Texas doesn't like me. The last time I was out there, I think I was only out there 3, maybe 4 days, and my legs retained water for the next, like, month.
Everything's bigger in Texas. Even your legs. But I gotta thank you for, like, just the introduction. Because you were like, I'm making mead. I'm like, the fuck's that? And he's like, it's a honey wine. I'm like, okay, I can dig that. I want some of that.
And now I can't get y'all to fucking just stop listening to that medieval music. But it's great to see you guys get good.
Yeah. It takes everything in me to not play it right now. Man, this is really refreshing.
Oh yeah, I'm just gonna keep on like talking about that. Like just like as dry as it is, like it's really good. Like it doesn't taste majority like water. It's not fucking too overpowering.
It's not hella honey flavored. It's like it's light.
Like it's real light. It's real smooth.
And it was slightly.
Like even as dry as it is, it still has pretty decent fucking mouthfeel. Right?
And it was kind of sparkly. It had some good bubbles in it. You know, it wasn't like
Yeah, they were.
wine. It wasn't like super wine style.
On their on their website, they talk about how they do the whole cider style, and how they like go for that whole bubbly thing, theme. One company, Groenfell and Havoc, they do the same. They do the same like style. I don't think they call it cider though. If they do, I didn't see it, or I have not read it. But they do the same thing.
Well, be sure to hit up your local mead dealer.
Yeah, if I
Might be on me one day. Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, especially if you're in San Jose and you don't know anybody who has Mead. Look me up. Go on Instagram. Look up fucking Las Voyage Meadery. Fucking.
I'm looking all week. I'm looking all week for some mead. Like, I'm gonna have a mead Labor Day. I'm just gonna try to find some. If I find some more, I'll let you know. There's a lot of companies I didn't know about, haven't learning about as we go along with this.
Definitely gotta give huge shout outs to the Black Rabbit Meat Company.
Yeah, absolutely. So it looks like they changed their name and they are available. Okay.
I know they have like a fucking address. I'm pretty sure they have that. Oh yeah, the tap room at 401 East 4th Street in Reno, Nevada.
Yeah.
If y'all are out,
It's
out
amazing.
Nevada, from Nevada, or going to fucking Reno, Nevada, go check it out. Go check it out and just see what we're talking about. And
Yeah.
have some pretty good meat.
Have some mead. Enjoy the mead. Enjoy mead with friends. You know, a friend of mead is a friend indeed.